Halsey from slimandstylish.com. Happy Sunday. Just going to load you up on my iPad so I can see who's there. If you're in, say hello, let me know you're here. There we go, all loaded up on my iPad. I hope you're all okay. Thank you very much for joining me. I have a little half Christmas cracker present today. So we've been shopping for Christmas crackers, and hiya Cindy, hope you're okay. Thanks for dropping in. Yes, we've been shopping for Christmas crackers and we were going through them. We can't have many people around for Christmas this year, especially any of the kids that we normally see. So we decided to make just some little adult Christmas crackers for us and to include in some little miniatures. So when we were in Morrison's this week, I saw these little boxes here. So there was a rum selection and a gin selection. My brother is a big rum lover and I love a little tipple of gin. So I thought I would pick these up. They were about £5 for a box of 3, so it was probably equivalent to what we'd spend on Christmas crackers anyway. And I've made these lovely little half crackers for the table. And I'm going to show you how to make them, but what's more interesting is all of the miniatures were different sizes. So this one here has got a Captain Morgan's in. That was a thin but fattish kind of bottle. This one here had Havana Club in, which was a short but fatter bottle, and this was a taller but thinner bottle. So you can actually change these little crackers so that they fit whichever size you have. And the one I'm going to do with you now is the Kraken rum, which is slightly wider than both of these two and slightly shorter. So we should have another shape box. So I'll show you how to measure them dependent on what you're putting in. And then I've got some gins for me. Hi, okay, hope you're okay. I was only thinking about you earlier, actually. I hadn't seen you for a bit. I hope you're all right. So I'm using Balmy Blue for this one, and I'm using the Snowflake Splendor paper. And let me show you how we're going to measure this up. So you need your Simply Scored. I'm just going to move the boxes to the side. The rums are quite good because they're coming in little plastic bottles. So I was quite happy with those because I have a tendency to break things. But the gins are in a glass bottle, so I do want to move everything towards the side of my desk so I don't sort of chop it all across. I'm just going to start off with one sheet of cardstock. Oh yeah, these would work for that. I mean, anything you've got that you want to wrap, little boxes, or like you've got homemade vanilla, anything in a little packet you can measure, and I'll show you how to measure it and work it all out. Right. So for this one, what you actually want to do is you want to take your little miniature bottle, and first of all, you want to measure it. So I find it easier to put my cardstock in to measure it. For some reason, I don't know, grey on white seems to hurt my eyes, but that's just me being very funny, really. So when you're measuring it, always have a spare piece of DSP handy, I find, and then you can pop it in and check where the measurements are, because sometimes when you want a round bottle, it's actually hard to work out where it is. So that's 2 inches. Okay, so when you start your box, you always want to have 1/2 inch. That's for your tab at the end. Oh. There we go. So there's my 1/2 inch, and I've worked out that at 2 inches we go across. So it's going to be 2.5 inches. Add another 2 inches, so it will be 4.5 inches. Add another 2 inches, so it'll be 6.5 inches. And then I'm going to score it at 8.5 with the other 2 inches, but that's actually where I'm going to cut on my trimmer. Okay, so I'm just going to go over those. that's the one I wanted to go over. I knew I'd got one out. Right, so once you've done that, you actually want to measure the end part then. So the bottom needs to be almost as wide as the side, not totally as wide, but almost. So if these are 2-inch gaps, then you could do with leaving 1.5 inches at the bottom. So long as it's over halfway, it's okay. So I'm going to score 1.5 inches. And then I'm going to pop my bottle in. My trusty piece of DSP, which is going to line that up. And it lines up at 5 3/4 inches. Okay, I'm actually going to do that 5 3/4 inches. I'm going to do it at 6, so it just leaves a tiny little gap above it. Okay. So then it's the cracker bit, and this will be the same no matter what size box you're doing. So you always want to go 1/2 inch. So I scored it at 6 inches. I'm going to score it again at 6.5, and then again at 7. Okay, so it's 6, 6.5, 7, and that's all you need to do for scoring. But as you're looking at your paper, you should be able to see a little scored box that will now fit in whatever you're going to be popping into your cracker. And that's how the best way is to work out the measurements. So I'm going to bring up my trimmer. And I'm going to pop it in to that last one. I can't remember what the measurement was. Was it 8.5 was my last one that I said I was going to cut at? I'm just going to pop the score line in the runner and trim that off. The other thing I'm going to do is, you see these score marks here that I did? These were the ones that, I tell you what, I'll burnish it. You'll see it a lot easier if I burnish my paper first. Score lines don't show up until they're burnished, really, do they? So I'll bend those in. When you get to these 3 that were at the 1/2 inches, what you want to do is turn that one in. Turn this one out. And turn that one in. So you get sort of a concertina. Let's see who else is on. Oh, I'm glad you're okay, Kay. Hi there, Donna. Hope you're all right. Hiya, Karen. Hiya, Shirley. And then you're just going to fold those ones in. Yes, Balmy Blue inspired nail varnish. Okay, so what I meant about them is this bit here where that concertina is, these 3. You want to line those up in your scoreboard, sorry, in your trimmer tool as well. Okay. So I'm just going to trim. You see that line there? It's 1 inch long, so it's that 1/2 inch and 1/2 inch that's that bit. You just, let me that's the bit. You want to line it up in your trimmer, and you just want to cut that through. Okay, so you bring your trimmer blade down. Just cut that section. Okay, that one over, and exactly the same. And this one over. And finally, this one. Oops. You know those glass bottles I told you I didn't want to break? That's what I'm just smacking around on the side of the table. Okay, so what you want to do now is, now you've actually cut that bit, you should be able to get your snips in and do a triangle. The reason why I've told you to cut that bit and go in is earlier I did try bending it and cutting it like that, but trying to cut through both pieces of cardstock just left it really messy. I just found it was quite thick to do that, and it was a bit hard then with my snips. So you want to cut a triangle out, turn it over, and then match that triangle. If you've got really sharp snips and you're comfortable with folding it and going through 2 sheets, that's fine. But for me, it was much easier just to pop my snips into that gap and to cut myself a triangle. And you're doing about 1/2 inch, but it's not precise. You're just guesstimating it really. It's so long as you've got a triangle cut out that is symmetrical and matches on the other side, you're fine. Okay. So how's your week been and your weekend? I haven't really done much. I've worked all week, had Friday off, got a load of videos done, because potentially moving in January, I was a bit worried about my blog and getting videos done. So done a load of those. And that's about it really. Okay, when you get to the end, you can just chop that through. Oh, and don't forget this end. That end will eventually sit in with that. So you do need to have a V out of that as well, otherwise it will be odd. Okay, so I'm just going to move all of those out. Donna used the perennial flower punch to do that. Yeah, good idea. I used to always use the envelope punch board, and I've also used the tailored tag punch before to do it. But again, I really just struggle. I don't know whether it's me and my weak wrists. I really struggle trying to punch through 2 lots of cardstock, you know, when you have to fold it and cut it. So I'm okay with my little snips, but if anyone's got a punch and they want to punch it, it works very well, and you get it definitely symmetrical then. So now I'm just chopping up these and I'm cutting a wedge out. Hi Alison, hope you're okay. Thanks for joining. Yeah, balmy blue inspired nails. I need to redo them actually. They're my own nails, but I use gel polish, and I had one peel off the other day, and I thought, oh, that's okay, I can touch the one up. And then I had another one peel up when I was doing the washing up the other night, so I thought, that's okay, I can touch that one up. And then I had another one come off this morning, so I think it's actually telling me time just to take all 10 off and go again. All right, so that's the outline you should have at the end, and you just want to pop some adhesive on these tabs. Okay, and then fold it over. you've got your nice little box, and then that, as you'll notice, goes into your cracker top. Wherever you folded that, that is the back, which means that you want to put the two sides in, that one and this one. So you're going to have both of the edges pointing backwards. Okay, so no one sees it and it looks a bit tidier. So a strip of seal and you're done. And then, now I've just measured this with you guys, so really hoping this works. But yeah, the Kraken pops in, lid goes on, and you'll notice it's quite close to the top, so it's okay. And that is how I've made my little half crackers. It's actually ended up roughly the same size as that one, just wider. And that one is the tall one. So to decorate, I've got the Snowflake Spender DSP, or I did have. I put it somewhere. There it is. And my trimmer. And what you want to do is you want to knock half an inch off for wherever you are. So this was a 2-inch wide box. So you want to cut your DSP that goes on there at 1 3/4 inches. Okay, and it's 4.5 inches wide. I should remember this. I've only just measured it, but you know what I'm like. So that's 4.5 inches wide. So I want to cut it at 4 1/4. So I'm just taking that 1/4 inch off. So I'll cut this at 4 1/4 first. Wrong paper. Put the paper above your scoring tool so it's easier to get. Oh dear. So 4 1/4 inches. And then what did I say? It was 2 inches, so 1 3/4. So yeah, that's that bit. 1 3/4 inches. 1 3/4 inches, and you're going to want 4 of these, and they will then just fit onto your cracker like that. If you wanted to make a full cracker, you can do. What you would do is you'd put this bit in the middle, and how we did our 1/2 inches here and our end, you'd do your 1/2 inches here and your end, same effect, and you'd get a full cracker. But I don't want to leave the liquid lying down on the table because I just know that that's going to leak on me and I'd have a bit of a nightmare. So 4 1/4 by 1 3/4 and by 1 3/4. The top section was obviously 1 3/4. And that's 1 1/4 inches, so it would be 1 3/4 by 1 inch. So I'm just going to chop that at 1 3/4. By 1 inch 1. It'll just go on like that, you see. I'm just laughing because I've just seen Janice's comment. Hi Janice. 1 inch. And that's just a bit too fiddly small for my hands, so I'm just going to tell you what, this is still going to be fiddly small for my hands, but there we go. Janice, the reason I'm laughing, lovely, is because when I went to the shops, there's 4 of us for Christmas. Me, my mum, my brother, and then my aunt's part of our support bubble. So there is just the 4 of us. And my mum, my brother, and my aunt love rum. So I bought them this 3 sets of rum, which I've popped into the half crackers. And that left me out. So I might have picked myself up 3 whole bottles of gin. And in this one, there's rhubarb and ginger, which I've tried, the Edinburgh gin, that's really nice. Sloe gin, which I'm used to making. We normally make those with sloes from over the park. I've never actually tried it before that's bought, so that'll be interesting. And this one here's the one I'm looking forward to. Peach and hibiscus. You tried that one, Janice? It's I go to Janice with my gins because myself and Janice, we're little ginaholics, really. We like a little tipple of gin occasionally. It's brewed in Scotland, actually, Janice. Yeah, it's a really nice bottle, so. I've got 4 there for the top and 4 there for the side. So you just want to stick these on. And because they're snowflakes, they can go on upside down, any which shape. But if you've got obviously snowmen or trees or anything, you're going to want to make sure you've got them in the right place. So you're talking about gin. We went to Marks and Spencer's and I've bought an elderflower gin. That was very nice, but I think it was rhubarb, and it's come in a snow globe bottle. Oh, it's ever so pretty. It's got a little town around the outside. So it's a clear bottle, and then it's got a white town around the outside, and the gin has got little gold flecks in, and there's a button on the bottom of the bottle, and it lights up. So you shake it and you get the gold flecks go around. You light it up and it's like a lovely little snow globe. I haven't got the heart to open it. I can't drink that. It just looks too pretty. One of my friends did tell me that you can actually buy the liquid that goes in snow globes. So I could drink it and then turn it into an actual proper snow globe. But it just seems cruel to even open it. It looks so pretty. It's sitting by my Christmas tree at the moment. I'm using Tombow to pop the paper on. It's just easier to maneuver then and get in the right place. So that you can make sure you've got an even line all the way around. Oh, Alison, that's recuperation size. Oh yeah, because glad you can have a drink now. There we go. Just keep going around until the box is finished. I quite like this. It's quite a quick, simple project. If you were doing like a normal party and you know when someone lets you know last minute that they're bringing someone with them, or someone turns up as a surprise that you weren't planning, as a paper crafter you have all this stuff handy. You could just whiz one round, providing you obviously had something to put in it. Okay, so where the fold is, that's still going to be the back, so you want to make sure that's at the back, and we're at the front now. And I've got 2 different ribbons. So what I've actually done with my boxes is I've got the polka dot ribbon on, and I have got the metallic edge ribbon. So those are these 2 here, and I actually learnt this at on stage. I say learnt it, I'm sure I knew it before, but I hadn't actually really played with it until I can't remember one of the demonstrators' names. She did if you were on stage at home, she did the ice cream bundle, and she managed to use 2 or 3 different types of ribbons all together on one great big tag. and I quite liked it. So that is what I'm doing for this project. So you want the polka dot ribbon, and you want to wrap it around your box and leave yourself enough for a nice big bow. So a bit more than that. It's also quite a handy trick I found. Oh yes, Kay, they did do them in vodka. They were Morrison's for the 3, and they were a £5, and there was a vodka one, and there was also a port one. So they did both. I think they were £8, but they were reduced to 5. And then I worried because I'd got my mask on and I hadn't got my ID. So I thought, I bet means I've got my mask on and they can only see my eyes. They will ID me. And then the lady on the till didn't ID me and I got offended instead of worried. So what you want to do with this ribbon to get this sort of tail here is you want to cut a strip. So sort of about that length, so that when you cross it over, it's roughly how long you want it on your box. You've popped your polka dot ribbon in, and you've just popped one little tie around of it. So then what you want to do is you want to pop this one through, lie it flat. Hard to lie it flat on a box that goes down, but you get the drift. And then you want to tie a knot around that bit. And bring that tail down. So that's completely then in the bow and it's being brought down. And you want to put the bow then on top of that. So carry on creating your bow. You get sort of a double ribbon effect. I've got all Tombow stuck on my hands, you know, from doing this. Trust me, ribbon's always fun when you've got gluey hands. So you pull both your tails down. And there you go. You've got a nice big double bow on your box then. And it's quite nice because this shimmery one sits underneath the polka dot one. So it looks like a 3D type bow. So finally some stamping, because, you know, you've got to do some stamping, right? A little piece of scrap paper. I'm using the Itty Bitty Christmas stamp set, and I'm using Believe just up here. I think that's really nice font, and I love the little star, so I'm using that with Balmy Blue. And stamping that. Believe. And the punch I'm using is a preview punch from the new catalogue, and it's called Oval Occasions. And I love it because I loved the oval punches when we first had them. I think they're really good. And I was sad when they went. But by having 2 punches on the one punch, it saves so much space when you're storing them. I know sometimes you have to use a little bit more paper because you've got the 2 on there. But to me, it's just, I was so happy it was back. So I'm just going to pop that in. Stamp that through. There we go. Leave. And I'm going to pick one of my scraps from the Balmy Blue that we were using. And I'm just going to punch out the... I'm not being wasteful there by going in the middle. That's the bits that we had scored earlier and cut off. So I didn't want to have a scored piece underneath. So that's why I've gone in the middle. I wasn't being really wasting. It's in the brand new mini catalogue, Cindy. So So the one that's available, you can start ordering from it on the 5th of January, unless you're a demonstrator, and then you can get it earlier. And there's a stamp set that goes with it, so it's a bundle, over occasions. Brilliant. I've already fell in love with it, and it can't wait till the 5th of January. I've got it. I need to use it. These are also a sneak peek from the same catalogue that's coming out on the 5th of January. And these are Resin heart embellishments. And as you can see, I've already tucked into those as well. So I'm just going to pop myself a little heart underneath the believe. And these resin hearts come in the red and in the white. And they're really cute, and these are easy to miss as well. So all I'm going to say is, when you read your mini catalogue, look for snails and you will find these. Okay, so a little bit of glue. Work out which side you want it. I've got one with it this side and one with it on that side. I actually prefer having it this way so that you can see the resin heart. So that's what I'm going to do with this one. So I'm just going to pop a little bit of seal on there, pop it underneath my ribbon and stick it down. And there's my half cracker box. So now we have 3 rum crackers for my family and a whole 3 little sample gins for me. There we go. I'll have to let you know which one was the best, because I'm really looking forward to that peach and hibiscus. I've never tried hibiscus. I don't think I've ever tried it. We'll have to see. So you are 3 little half cracker boxes. If you do make any of these, please let me see the pictures by putting it in. I've just noticed I haven't chopped my ribbon nicely. If you pop it into Slim and Stylish's Crafty Hangout, there'll be an album for this. So let me see what you've made. And yeah, just chop your ribbons so it's nice and slanted rather than mismatch halfy. And all that's left is to wish you a absolutely lovely Christmas, everybody. Thank you for all your support this year. I hope you and your families have a really lovely one. And I'm sorry for anyone who had anything planned and it got changed last night with the new rules that we've got. But hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll have a safe and a much better 2021, fingers crossed. So let me just see. Oh, thanks everybody. I had a really busy weekend with my granddaughters. Have to take them home, so I'll catch you later. Oh, bye Karen. I'm glad you've had a busy weekend with them. Enjoy. So I will see you. When's the next? It's a day after Boxing Day next Sunday, isn't it? So yeah, I will do another one next Sunday. If it was Boxing Day, I'd probably still be like in a little food coma, but it's the day after. So I'll see you on Sunday next week at 4 o'clock. Have a really enjoyable Christmas. Speak to you all soon. Bye.